Hi, and welcome back to another newspaper article, Lucky Dip. Again, we have no trigger warnings to give you to start this one off. We don't know what we're going to get out the hat for this episode. If you feel like you could be sensitive to many of life's more distressing scenarios, look in the description down below to see what it is that did come out the hat before you embark on this video maybe. Just be good to yourself here, alright? So we'll get into this one and we'll find out what it has for us today. Let's see. If you all caught together, let's see what this one is. We have the Caledonian Mercury for the 2nd of January 1832. Let's see what the Cali Mercury has for us. Okay, so this is for the day after New Year's Day, 1832, and we have the following strange occurrence has taken place at Campignol, Eure, northern France. An inhabitant of the village, having dug a hole to entrap a wolf, put upon it a live goose as a bait for the voracious animal. Another inhabitant, on perceiving the fluttering goose at a distance, approached it and fell into the ditch, which was 8 feet deep, the sides being cut out so as to form an inverted cone. He vainly attempted to get out and was patiently waiting for the return of day, but he had not waited long when something very heavy fell onto his shoulders. This was a wolf, attracted by the bait. The fright of the poor man may easily be imagined. That of the wolf was equally great, for he had immediately got into a corner whence he did not stir all night. When day appeared, the man who had made the trap came up for his prey, and was not a little surprised at finding his 2 prisoners. The man was taken out more dead than alive. No forbearance was shown to the wolf, which was killed, in spite of his forbearance during the night. And that's related for the Caledonian Mercury from a Paris paper. I feel sorry for the wolf. He finds himself caught in a trap with, I guess, not only the goose, but the man. Although it doesn't say that the goose fell into the hole, so perhaps it was on the edge. And he's not gone for the guy, he's not attacked anybody. They both just bided their time in the hole until they were rescued the next morning. I feel like the wolf could have been rewarded by not being killed, just out of thanks for not having harmed the other man that fell in. That's just a wee bit of a sad story to me, actually. Although I know there was a big effort in order to get rid of the wolves. They succeeded in Scotland. We got rid of our wolves. And that effort was because they were affecting livestock and probably attacking the odd human, more likely as not a child. So they were seen as not animals that the humans could live next to in any form of harmony. So they were just got rid of. So perhaps they were on the same kind of spree here in France in 1832. Perhaps they were also trying to eradicate their wolf population. But, I mean, come on. That wolf had all the temptation. He's there all night with prey that he could have easily gone after. But, oh well. We'll see what the next one has for us. We have the Dundee Courier for the 22nd of May, 1873. Dundee Courier. Let's see what it has for us. Well, this is a rather short article. So we have a strange occurrence At Elderslie, near Paisley on Sunday, a lad seated himself on a large boulder in the public street to smoke. The stone weighed several cartweights, but when the smoker threw his lighted match at his feet, a violent explosion followed, which projected him and his seat several feet into the air. Fortunately, he was not seriously hurt. The accident was caused by an escape of gas from mains passing in the ground near the stone. That would have been a hell of a fright, eh? Oh my word. And I would assume in 1873 that would have been before the smell of sulphur, I think it is, was added to the natural gas in order to be able to smell that there was a leak. Before then, you couldn't tell. The natural gas was odourless, and your house could be literally filling up with gas and become a bomb without you having the least inkling. And with all these houses, especially the more well-to-do ones, being gas-lighted, that was something that happened far more than it should have been. But they did add the smell that we're so familiar with now in order to alert us to the fact that the gas is escaping and we absolutely need to do something about it. We'll see what we have again. Nelfie boys come in to join me too. I'm not sure what that's going to lead to. We have the Edinburgh Evening News for the 13th of July 1897. Nay, Elfie. What kind of article do we think this is going to be? Well, we have another short article, and it's entitled The Annexation of Hawaii. The Daily Telegraph, New York correspondent says, fearing lest the Senate should not ratify the Hawaiian Annexation Treaty during the present session, President McKinley has sent to Admiral Beardsley instructions which contemplate the landing of Marines and the raising of the American flag upon the first symptom of Japanese aggression or internal trouble. Okay. Well, that makes me wonder if Hawaii was previously under Japanese control. I do know that Hawaii is technically not an American state. That the formalities that would normally have been concluded to that end weren't in the case of Hawaii. It seems like they were almost colonized and just taken over by the US to a certain extent. I'll put a link, because I'm sure I'll be able to find an article that tells us more about that, and I'll put a link for an article below. I know I've seen at least a couple of videos, a couple of documentaries, where it was really outlined why Hawaii isn't a US state formally. That they're technically still their own country, I guess. Their own country of islands. Shows how much I know about Hawaii. I'm not entirely sure I'm entirely right in a lot of what's it. I am sure that it's not a US state. But I would be curious to find out whether it was previously under Japanese rule, as that article suggests. That's quite a late article, 1897. That's quite late on in the day. I think I would have thought the annexation of Hawaii or the addition of Hawaii to the American states was more recent than that. The meow boy. Let's have another one. These are nice wee articles that we're getting today. Maybe be able to fit in a few. Let's see. We have from the Scotsman for the 29th of May, 1841. Let's see what the Scotsman has for us. This one has the Handelsblad, now NRC newspaper Netherlands, contains a letter from Rotterdam giving an account of a strange occurrence. The wife of a watchman of the town for some time past had exhibited marks of mental alienation, and a fortnight ago disappeared suddenly without leaving any traces by which her fate could be conjectured. On the 9th instant, the husband, desiring to remove a chest from the garret, discovered in it his wife, still alive. The unfortunate woman appears to have entered this hiding place in one of her fits of madness, with the intention of dying there. This circumstance, and that she took only a little water from the gutter of the house during the whole period of her disappearance for her support, is all that can be gathered from her incoherent expressions. She is still affected with the same weakness of mind, and in addition has been seized with the smallpox. Thank you, Elfie. Well, that was an easy read with a cat going for my hand. He's in a bitey, feisty mood at the moment. Okay, so we have a woman who wanted to apparently hide away and disappear from the world. She's put herself into a chest that's up in the attic of this house, the garret. And she's been taking some water from the gutter of the house, suggesting she doesn't necessarily want to die, because you'd not be doing anything for your sustenance if you were set on ending your life, though I'm not sure what she thought she would do in a chest. And for 2 weeks? I mean, being holed up anywhere that's a small container for 2 weeks has got to have an effect on your physiology. You're going to have cramps. You're going to have, pain. You know how it's like if you're kind of in a cramped situation for any amount of time and you come out of it, you stretch out and all your joints ache, especially as the years go on. So she must have found it quite painful to come out from that situation. Now, mind you, I don't know how big the chest was. I'm imagining one really just big enough to fit her, but they may have had a larger one for her to be in. And then she gets smallpox on coming out. I mean, wow, I feel for this woman. I don't know what it was that drove her to this situation. I don't know what's... Oh my god, you're actually stuck to my hand, Elfie. Oh, my hand's just being ripped apart. I'm going to keep my hand over this side, I think, because he is really going for me. Oh. Anyway. Yeah, no, I'm wondering about her quite a lot. I can't imagine she lasted too much longer. I mean, we're talking 1841. She's going to have been sent to a madhouse, and she's got smallpox. So do we think she lived very much longer after this article? I don't think so, especially in a weakened condition. I mean, catching anything like smallpox, you're going to want to be hardy and healthy prior to catching something like that in order to make it through that kind of illness. So, should we have a last one? Elfie has left the room, so I could be safe for a little bit. Don't mind if you see wounds on my hand. It's just what you take on bringing kittens into the house, I guess. So to end us, we'll have the Falkirk Herald for the 31st of March 1870. And do you know whose birthday's on the 31st of March? Elfie boy. So let's find out what his birthday has for us here. Okay, so I'm feeling a little more confident about having my limbs out because Elfie has left the room. This article is entitled Price Current of Sin. In the price list of the papal office was stated the price for each sin. It had been already issued by Innocent VIII, 1484 to 1492, and contained in 42 chapters 500 items, of which we will give only a few specimens. Wilful murder committed by a priest was to be forgiven for 2 gold guilders and 8 goshens. The murder of a father, mother, sister, or brother cost only 1 guilder, 12 goshens. If, however, a heretic wanted to be forgiven for his heresy, he had to pay 14 guilders, 8 goshens, and a mass in an excommunicated city cost 40 guilders. For the payment of 12 ducats, priests were permitted to indulge in the most unnatural vices and sins. The most revolting part of this tax list is, however, its conclusion: the poor cannot partake in such graces, for they have no money, and must therefore dispense with such comfort. What? So, we knew this. We knew that you could buy your way out of sin. In former years, you could obtain scrolls which guaranteed you entry to heaven, that acted as keys. You could purchase these scrolls for yourself, and that would get you off with a number of sins. Perhaps not criminally, but spiritually you would be let off with whatever you had done in your life, whatever sins you had partaken in. The same is still true today in this more atheistic world we live in, where we answer to the law, yet many crimes can be enacted without fear of being imprisoned or any other kind of comeuppance, provided you're able to pay a fine. So, things like speeding. You get pulled over for speeding, pay a fine. No crime, you know? There's a lot of crimes of that ilk where if you're prepared and able to pay a substantial fine, was a crime committed? You know? You're able to buy yourself out. So really, they're not crimes. They're acts you need to pay to do, aren't they? And if you're rich, then there's probably quite a lot that you can pay to do. There's somewhere in Scandinavia that's good in terms of road traffic violations, that it's taken as a percentage of your wage. So if you're rather wealthy, it's a rather hefty fine you're going to have to pay just to get out of that. But also it applies to folk in America and places where bail's set. And, you know, you've murdered a family and your bail's set at $500,000. You know, if you're rather wealthy, what's keeping you in jail? You can just pay your bail and be liberated, if not abscond in many cases. You know, if you have a lot of money in a private jet, or maybe a very speedy boat, you know, it's probably quite easy to get away with quite a lot. And even if you do have to face the music, money goes a long way in terms of legal representation. You can get some of the finest on your side for a mere fistful of dollars. So, it has always been thus, you know, especially where the church was concerned. If you had money and you were willing to become a benevolent partner of the church in your area, there's probably quite a lot that went under the notice of the authorities in charge for a substantial amount of time. So, we'll end with that article, I guess. Get rich if you want to be able to get away with nearly everything, I guess is the moral of that story, and it's still pretty much the case these days. So, thank you very much for joining me again, and we may see you for the next one. Take care.